Hello everyone, how are you doing? This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. As of August, we will be open for 13 years. We've been in business, of course, 13 years, and our background is aerospace, medical implants, medical materials, printing, and plastic distribution. Today is kind of a sticky situation for the American National Standards Institute and the American National Crediting Board. Okay, they talk about to have the confidence in the integrity of quality of their certifications, and you discover that Boeing relinquished their quality back in 2002 to ANSI-ANAB, basically stating, and I have the document here, basically stating in a supplier notification, and here it is, on-site Boeing survey of the supplier, survey means audit, on-site Boeing survey of supplier's quality system if need be. Our preference is to deal with proven suppliers with excellent quality performance and not have to do on-site quality system surveys. So basically what they're trying to say to you, deciphering it down for you ladies and gentlemen, is that send in your paperwork, AS9100, which is the ISO standard for for the International Standard Organization or International Organization of Standards. And that's the one that is for aerospace. It basically says, send in your paperwork, send in your product, we'll stick it on the plate. We don't have to send any more source inspectors to your facilities. That sounds pretty good since 2002. Nice. This video today is about QA expert Daryl Guberman. Issues alert, a quality alert. What are the benefits of accreditation ANSI-ANAB? Their failure. I'm going to tell you a couple after I get done with this. I will tell you it as I read this to you. And here came right off their website. What are the benefits of accreditation? Accreditation provides a formal recognition to competent organizations. It provides a conduit for regulators and industry to find reliable products and services to meet their specific needs. Accreditation is a means to reduce costs and redundancy and eliminate trade barriers. Most important, accreditation assures industry and government decision makers that the accredited organizations are competent and their results can be relied upon. I am going to tell you about 4 different organizations that are ANAB accredited or an equivalent of that, those that sit on the International Accreditation Forum incorporated in Delaware, where it's a repository for both national and international accreditation bodies. In 2016, I was invited, my business was invited to join either ANAB or IAF, but we could not do this because in 2015, the IAF, which is that repository for accreditation bodies where ANSI-ANAB also sat, was given over to this communist Chinese national, Zhao Jinwu, who was also the chief executive of the China National Accreditation Services. He's also mandated by his country of origin, Communist China, to take our data through the China National Intelligence Law, Article number 7. You can't make this shit up. So I, as a proud American, said no. I did not want that. I'm going to tell you about 4 companies who are on ANSI's board, who are accredited by ANSI, who specify in their supplier portal, like Boeing in many ways, that ANSI-ANAB is the chosen one. Why? Because what happens is you dig deeper and you find that Boeing, the same company and organization that has ANSI-ANAB or an international equivalent on their supplier portal, also sits on ANSI's board. Sitting on ANSI's board by the Federal Aviation Administration, that in 2009, the FAA gave them FAA regulatory privileges, meaning that those people that they certified as FAA inspectors also worked at the facility. You had no oversight because of that. Boeing and the FAA are regulators. Boeing is a regulator for the FAA, so we can basically say that Mr. Calhoun here is the administrator for Boeing for the FAA. Isn't that nice? So we're going to get into this, and one of the bad things is that you have Boeing that skip quality processes and standards, I guess because they figure they're on ANAB's board, right over by the FDI, the FTC, the DOJ, the DOT. I guess they figured they could do anything and get away with it. Not anymore. There's a new sheriff in town, and I'm part of that because it's absolutely disgusting. So let me go into this and talk to you about what I just read to you, about what are the benefits of accreditation. It's not benefiting these four companies, major companies. First one is Boeing. As you can see, they fudged documentation. So did their steel supplier, Kobe Steel. On top of that, you have a factor that several weeks ago, Boeing got caught not writing down pertinent information about autoclave cures in the Bell Boeing composite facility. And if the cure cycle is wrong or the temperature, pressure is wrong, you got a problem with the material. You'll have a problem with the material of disbonding from fabric, because composite is basically a fabric, let's say fiberglass with a resin, and it's layered, and the pressure and temperature pushes it together and makes it one uniformed product. Okay, and if you don't have the right temperatures and pressures, you'll have what they call interstitial bubbles in between the fabric, and because of vibration, it'll separate and disbond. So, and you know something, the worst thing is, from 2007 to 2018, they were doing this record recording. Isn't that nice? So we go on, that was Boeing. We go to Lockheed Martin, another ANSI member. At the time, they also sat between 2015 and 21 on the IAQG, the International Aerospace Quality Group, where at one time one of the Boeing employees who sits on the ANAB board that can grant, suspend, and withdraw certification, he was the chairman of the IAQG. So Lockheed sat on there as an associate member. An associate member, per their rules and regulations, an associate member can grant, suspend, and withdraw certification. Yet at the time too, while they sat on the IAQG as an associate member, look who was sitting there right by them. The IAF, the International Accreditation Forum, which is incorporated in Delaware, has Iran on board. And I'm not saying this about the people, I'm saying this about the politicians. And they were sitting by the IAQG at that time with Lockheed on board, and they didn't say anything. And these guys, the politicians, say we assisted in 9/11. Oh, nice. I wonder what Lockheed is doing. Isn't that a nice job? After their 801st F-35, they're still producing aircraft with rejections. And you will say, well, Daryl, it's a complex. No. The whole thing about quality, the whole thing about engineering is you have to be synergistic in eliminating these rejections. And they're not. You can even see it on their Littoral battleship. So we got with Boeing and Lockheed. The next one is Pfizer, where you have the CEO of Pfizer. He says, oh my God, dear God. He says, the vaccine, it was made in the sun. It was made in the sun. It's quality driven. It's made in the sun. It's a fantastic thing. A great thing. He sounds like Bela Lugosi. But, you look at this stuff and you find out that Pfizer skipped quality processes and standards. Okay, you have Johnson & Johnson, who also sits on ANSI, and they had 75 million recall of the product of COVID vaccine. And you look at these things, and you look at accreditation of what I just read, and it's not good. And the thing about it too is that ANSI and ANAB are underwriters for the IAF, the International Accreditation Forum incorporated in Delaware, and also ILAC, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation in Australia. We fondly call the IAF, it always fails, and we call ILAC, is laboratory accreditation credible? It is not. It is not. It is a terrible thing, as a matter of fact. So after I read about accreditation, I want to send it back to you, ladies and gentlemen, because it's absolutely a deplorable thing. This can be extrapolated, as I've showed with Boeing. Boeing gave their inspection and quality to their accreditation body that they sit on. They sit on ANSI-ANAB. ANSI took over complete control over ANAB in 2018. I'm going to stop here. So what I want to ask you, though, what are the benefits of the AS9100 certificate that Boeing has? Nothing. It's DREC. 203-556-1493. or Daryl, DAROL, TQRS @yahoo.com.